Okay, guys, welcome back to another episode of Strain Forward Podcast. The guest that we have on today, his name is Matthew. We actually just did a podcast together where I was a guest on his show, so now he's a guest on this on my show. He is a full-time podcaster. He's in the beginning the beginning stages of this journey as I am, so it's pretty fun for us to be able to do this together and kind of walk alongside each other from a distance. But today we're going to talk a bit about that journey, and I'm going to let him introduce himself and share whatever he wants to as far as telling you guys who he is. He's got some pretty wild stories in there that I'd love to dive deeper into. But the goal of this, as always, is just to encourage you guys to show you that you are not alone in whatever it is you want to pursue or not pursue, the challenges you're facing. We're all in this together. But with that, Mr. O'Brien, Mr. Matthew O'Brien, which is a sick name. Tell us about yourself, dude.
First off, I want to thank you for letting me be on the show. My first ever appearance being a guest on the show. I've been a host for over 70 podcasts now. I've never been a guest on a show, so thank you for being my first.
Let's go.
And to everyone listening, hello, everybody. I'm your host of the Every Day is Friday podcast 365. We dive into the stories and experiences from people from all walks of life. And the show is built around real stories, real people, and real conversations. And, everyone has a story and everyone has experience. I'm the person that dives into it. And I interviewed comedians, entrepreneurs, people that create things and chase after their dreams. If you've lived through something worth sharing, I'm the one that's going to interview you. So that's one of those things. I only interview people that are chasing after their dreams.
Love that.
And I just, I've been falling. I don't do it for love. I do it from love.
No, that's awesome. Okay, so Every Day is Friday. The name, very, very cool name. Why don't you tell people why you decided to call it Every Day is Friday?
To me, Every Day is Friday means freedom, first off, okay? So the kind where anything feels possible. When it first happened to me, when it hit me, I was laid off from my job, and I was sitting outside with my dad. Just every day was Friday. I was hitting the gym twice a day. I felt like I was a little bit retired, like when you get laid off from a job, you take unemployment, and you're just living life to the fullest every day. And I was like, there has to be more to this. I want to do a little bit more. So I started a clothing brand. And then after the clothing brand, I was like, I really want people to understand this and know about this. So I started the podcast after that. And I've always wanted to be a host of a podcast show. And with that being said, if you want something done right, you do it yourself. I thought in the beginning I could have some of my friends or someone else be like a co-host or something like that. But if you want it done right, you have to do it yourself. And I don't regret doing it myself because, I put myself in situations I don't feel comfortable in. But because of that, it became who I am today. And it's about the journey and not the destination, but the personal development throughout the journey.
100%. Yeah.
And yeah, every day is Friday. You have to have the mindset. You want to wake up excited every single day. It's just not because it's like the weekend, every day is Friday. But you really get it or you don't. And you really have to you got to really take control of your own life at the end of the day, and anything is possible.
No, I love that, dude. Yeah, every day is Friday. Yeah, a lot of people don't wake up, and a lot of people wake up not excited for the day that's ahead. They're dreading it. There's the quote, most men live lives of quiet desperation. That quote. It's like, it's so true. I mean, obviously women too. It's very hard to step into your dream and wanting to chase your dream because there's a chance of failure. There's a chance of going broke, spending all your money on whatever it is you're doing and it not panning out. And it's terrifying for people. I guess maybe offer some encouragement to someone out there of like what fuels you what fueled you to do it and what fuels you to keep doing it, right? Amidst, the failures, the setbacks, the wondering if this is going to pan out, all of that. Molecular hydrogen. What on earth is molecular hydrogen? Okay, well, before I go into that, let's talk about this. the vast majority of people are living in a state of chronic inflammation. And even if they don't notice the inflammation that's in their body, it's there. It's there in everyone. And unless you are taking proactive steps to reduce the amount of inflammation that's in your body, it's probably a lot higher than you would like to know. Because here's the reality. There's pollution in the water, there's pollution in the food, there's environmental toxins in the air, stress just from busy lifestyles. It is insane. Well, here's where molecular hydrogen comes in. When you drink hydrogen water, which is two hydrogen atoms bonded together and then fused into water, when you drink that, it goes in and helps reduce the amount of oxidative stress in the body. Oxidative stress is basically like the inside of your body rusting. It is what leads to aging, chronic inflammation, disease, illness, ailments, all of the things that you do not want in your body. Molecular hydrogen, when you drink this water, helps to combat that. And it does a fantastic job at that. It is a selective antioxidant, which means it goes in and pinpoints the specific things in your body that need to be corrected, healed, whatever, and it leaves the other functions alone. You don't want an antioxidant that goes in and just kind of hits everything. You actually don't want that. You want selective antioxidants. Molecular hydrogen does that. What's cool is I did a podcast with a guy from Echo Water. They created a flask, basically a bottle that you put water into, you press a button, and it infuses that water with hydrogen so then you can, right there on the spot, drink however many ounces of hydrogen water. And you can do this 2, 3, 4, 5 times a day. It really doesn't matter. There's not too much that you can drink. It's absolutely incredible. You can go listen to that podcast. It's listed. I'll put a link to it in the show notes actually, so you guys can go listen to it. But what I'm getting at is you can go check out this flask for yourself. You can go to the link in my bio. You can save yourself 10%. You can go check it out. It comes with a 5-year warranty, so if anything ever happens, you can get a new one. It is absolutely awesome. I drink it every single day. It's made a huge difference in my recovery, my health, all the things. I would love for you guys to check that out and experience the same thing that I've been experiencing. Again, save yourself 10%. Go to the show notes, click the link in there, and then you can also listen to the podcast that's linked right below it, so you can go get some more information from the founder of Echo Water. Anyways, love you guys. Let's get back to the show.
No, I love that question, because if you become 1% better every single day, you'll be 365% better in 1 year's time. So just imagine that, do the math, it's there. And self-belief, you got to use that to fuel. I mean, you can turn self-doubt or hate or people that, every time I've failed on a podcast or failed in life or in general, those are the moments that shape me into who I am today.
Yeah.
So, I recommend anyone go out of your comfort zone and put yourself in situations you don't feel comfortable in, because that's what really molds you into the, I want to say, like, take the arrows as a knight, like you take those hits, and that's what, if the more hits you get, the more you can take, and you understand how to get up after you get hit so many times. It's like, I've seen this before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Oh, I've been here before. I know what this feels like. I can get back up. All right. So wait, you mentioned you failed on a podcast. What did that look like? Tell us a story. Like, what's a podcast that you messed up on or did something wrong, or what did that look like?
It's funny because my guest even said the same thing, because she was not prepared either. I was prepared, but to a certain level of preparedness. I love to ask my guests like a little bit of topics and a little bit of, I like to do my homework before. She gave me nothing. Okay. So it was very difficult for me to even like have a conversation with her. And she only did a couple things in her life, but like, after talking to her after the podcast, I was like, you should have brought that up. I wish I knew. You should have told me. I sent you a text message. I was like, hey, any topics you really feel knowledgeable about, we should talk about it. And we just talked about general stuff. And she was very afraid and timid on the podcast, but she just sells, what is it? It was insurance. So it was a very hard podcast for me. but we're going to redo the podcast because she messaged me last week. She's like, you know what? I've been watching your podcast and I was not prepared for it, and I want to redo it. And we're going to talk about her foundation she's in charge of, and she helps out kids that are really in need. So I was like, that's perfect to talk about on a podcast. I would love to dive into your stories and
Yeah.
all the experiences you have in helping kids like that. That's amazing.
Dang. Yeah, that's such a. Yeah, I wonder why she didn't bring
Much
that.
better than insurance, right?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, no one wants to talk about insurance. Jeez, everyone hates the insurance companies. They're all scamming you, and you pay all this money, and then you still got to pay more money, and it's like, what are we doing here? Um,
I did talk to her about insurance because when my house didn't burn down in 2017,
oh yeah,
I told her what the hassles are with getting money from insurance are, and she kind of said the same thing. Is like, I understand the insurance company's only out for themselves, and when you lose everything, I'm gonna tell you the truth here, everyone listening. You really figure out who your true friends and family are in a situation like that. So that's another moment that's really made me and shaped me into who I am today as well. Certain things like that, you really look into it, like bigger picture. I remember my best friend at the time. He he came to my house. I was inside of my house after like all the stuff was, we're just like trying to find some stuff through the house and stuff like that. There was, everything was just burnt.
yeah.
It was completely gone, everything. And he walks in and he's like, I still want you to play basketball. He's like, here's a pair of Kyrie's, the same ones you used to have. And I was like, that moment like that, it really hit me deep because I was like, that's something that I did not expect of him,
Hmm.
but like I will always remember that.
Wow, that's really cool. Dang, that's a super good friend right there, dude. Dang. Okay, so you segued into that. I'm glad you did. What happened? How did? How,
They never figured it out. They never figured it out. It's something that something in my garage lit on fire somehow, some way, and basically my bedrooms in my house were above my garage, and just totally just everything just gone. And it was terrible. The fire departments, they called like five of them here. They tried to hook up the hoses. They're hooking them up backwards. I have some water near me. They couldn't pump the water out of the lake. They couldn't do that because they were like, "Oh no, we'll destroy the habitats in the water." And it's like there's water right there. You can't just put a machine in there and suck up the water and just put it out. But at the end of the day, it's just, it is what it is, and you learn from it. You learn from it. You find out how to move forward from situations like that. I mean, it took me 4 years to get back in my house, and it was very tough times. I mean, we had to go through as a family. I mean, we lived in a hotel. We lived in different places. We had to rent out a place, and the insurance company, the money ran out, so we had to figure stuff out after that. And we went through COVID at that time too.
jeez, dude.
So it was just one difficult time after another, and then in around Christmas time of 2020, we moved in, and that was like one of those like Christmas gifts that, it's like, wow, we're finally back. We're back as a family again. So that was a really cool moment for me and my family.
Dang, yeah, dude. Yeah. Okay, so when the fire did happen, you guys were inside the house, like it was at night, or what happened?
Yeah, yeah. It was during the day at 5 o'clock during the day on April 7th. So it was one of those things that my mom comes. So I told you the bedrooms were upstairs above the garage. So she's like, there's smoke coming from the vents. So she starts screaming that. And I'm in the living room downstairs. And we all look that way and we're like, okay, well, I hop up. It's opening day for the Tigers. Okay. So we're watching the baseball game. My dad's on the porch. He comes, we all look up. She opens the garage door, and just it gave like the air to the fire, and it just lit even more. We couldn't see nothing. It was so smoky in there, and that just bursted in flames, everything. So me and my dad, we're just gonna be like trying to be hero here, okay, at the thing. So we go into the laundry room. We're just throwing around trying to find buckets and stuff. So we turn on the water. We put the water, put the buckets in the mop sink, and we're just trying to throw some water. Power goes out. It's just how things go because like the fire's happening, power goes out, the flames are already too big. My neighbors are coming at the door. You got to get out. You got to get out. And my older brother was at work at the time, but my younger brother was in the house as well. And so but I got a lot of smoke in me, to tell you the truth, just trying to put the fire out.
Yeah.
And I was in there just trying to a lot of smoke, real quick. I'll tell you this much: save yourself in a fire. And then things, you always replace those things. You can never replace someone in a fire like that because like it can get dangerous really quick if you get too much smoke in your lungs or something like that. But you're just trying to save your house at the end of the day and save everything you've had and everything you worked towards. I walked out of my house with no shoes, my phone, wallet, and keys. I moved my cars out of the way, and luckily we did that because we wouldn't have anything at the end of the day if we didn't move those, because the house would have just fell on top of them or they would have burned because the fire was so hot. And it was like one of those things that you just keep on. The next morning, I woke up with basically nothing. Really, like I was wearing someone else's shorts that donated the night of, a t-shirt that didn't even fit me. That was a small, I was like, wow. I woke up and like, I saw like a lot of family members and people outside the next day. And I was like, wow, this is reality. This is what life's like. Now I got to really figure out what the next chapter of my life is going to be, because my life just changed. And that can happen with anyone. That's a roller coaster ride in life. That's how things go. There's ups and downs, but you just got to keep on moving forward no matter what they say. We're going to keep on rocking every single day because you got to think of things. I told my girlfriend this recently. I go, this is so bad, this has to be good. So if you keep that mindset going, you'll go places in life. Because if you think of the negative and the things that happen all the time as like this is much more than I don't want to say it's someone's fault, because it's not. It's just how life goes. Sometimes you just can learn from those situations like that.
And so they never figured out what caused it.
Never. It was such a big fire, and we had a lot of stuff, so it was like you couldn't even tell what was there, what wasn't there. And then plus with all the water they put onto the house, it was crazy. You couldn't see nothing. We had it was piles and piles of just because our all our bedrooms collapsed on my garage, and it was just a pile of stuff. So how could they find anything? I don't blame them, because like at the end of the day, like you just go, it was a fire, and they can't like NA on it. It was like one of those things, and I wish I knew, but I really don't. But situations like that really understand a little bit about yourself at the end of the day and who your true friends and family are, because I've had people bully me because of it after that. And I was like, a true friend would never bully me because of my house burning down. It would make fun of me somewhat with it, like, at least my house didn't burn down and stuff like that. And it's like, okay, well, you're a little bully, aren't you? I don't let people affect me like that, but like we're just not friends to this day. You surround yourself with people you want to be like and be, and stuff like that, and just you just learn through life like who your true friends and family are. And like the one guy, Spencer, shout out Spencer, that gave me the shoes. I'm still friends with him to this day. I saw him 2 days ago. You know what I mean? He gave me a call, and I said, dude, I'll come over and see what you're working on your car and stuff like that.
That's cool. Yeah. So people were bullying you? Like
Yeah, I had a
making little
friendship that
jokes?
bullied me. I've had people that I've lost friendships because of the podcast too, in relationships and stuff like that.
Is grounding just a bunch of woo woo science? I get this question more times than I could count on one hand, two hands, 10 hands. I get this question a lot, is my point. Grounding is absolutely effective and important to be doing on a daily basis. As someone who is avidly grounded, grounding means you just connect with the earth, bare skin to grass or dirt or the ocean or the lake or whatever. Connecting to the earth, grounding, is absolutely amazing. Here's what happens. The free electrons from the earth pass into our body. So the electrical charge of the earth passes and reacts with our electrical charge as humans, And this helps to reduce. We absorb these free electrons, they go through our body and reduce inflammation, helps reduce stress, helps reduce anxiety because our body is able to finally calm down. What's happening all day long is we're insulated with rubber shoes, right? And then we're bombarded with, Wi-Fi and radiation, environmental toxins and food pollutions and all this stuff as our body all day long is fighting off all this crap that it's constantly bombarded with. As soon as we can ground and go ahead and let our bodies actually detoxify, those other resources that were spent, getting rid of all that crap going on it's now put toward healing your body and healing your gut and healing your muscles and doing other more important things than just fighting off all this other crap that we're bombarded with on a daily basis. So grounding is super important, right? And I'm explaining this in layman's terms, but I hope this is at least a little bit clear. I would love it if you guys would check out Earth and Moon products, because at the very least, if you're not going to go ground for 30, 40 minutes walking in the grass, buy yourself a grounding bed sheet or a grounding pad to stand on when you're working. It will make a difference, guys. It makes a huge difference, right? You can save yourself some money. You can save yourself 10%. Go to the link in the bio. Use my code. I think it's Kyle10. Either way, the code is in the show notes. Go there, check out the products. My recommendation is at the very least get a grounding pad, but I think you should get grounding sheets so you're sleeping grounded all night long, which would be amazing. Go check that out. Support a great company. Support your boy. Support yourself. Save some money along the way. I love you guys. Let's get back to the show.
Because they just get jealous.
They
just get jealous of what I'm. Yeah, it's jealousy downright, and it's a sad thing in society when people get jealous of something. Like if I'm chasing after my dreams, why would you be jealous of me? Like support me,
You'd think so.
It seems like they want a piece of it, or they want to do something like, it's like well, like it's funny how people react and how people try to like be like, well, I can do that. Well, do it.
Yeah, I was like, do it, dude. What are we talking about here?
Yeah. If you want it, it's crazy.
Well, I think what it is it calls them out. They're looking at you chasing your dreams is them looking in a mirror and they're feeling dissatisfaction with themselves. It's revealing like, well, I should be doing something. Like they know in their hearts that they should be doing something like that. They could be doing something like that, but they're not because they're scared. And they say you doing it, and it freaks them out, and so they want to take it out on you. And it's honestly it's ridiculous. But you're right. It is what happens whenever you pursue something like that. You're gonna lose relationships because you start to change, and then they're like, you changed, you whatever, and it's like, well, yeah, because I'm trying to get better and grow, and you're not. So yeah, we are growing apart. And it makes them mad, and yeah, you will lose friendships really quickly, and deep relationships.
Can I bounce off of that real quick?
Yeah, please.
So, if anyone out there really wants to start a podcast or be an influencer, be a YouTuber, don't wait to be ready. Just don't. Just hit record. That's what I did. It's the biggest thing that you could do is just hit the record button, even if you don't post it. But at the end of the day, if you just hit record. And like I like to say, it's about the journey, not the destination, but the personal development throughout the journey. You wouldn't believe. Go back to my first podcast on Every Day is Friday Podcast 365, and now see the new one I have out today, this morning. I interviewed Kev, and he only eats fruit. He went 160 days only eating watermelon. My first podcast was about motivation, and it was with one of my best friends, Zane. And just the transformation from that to this, it's truly incredible. I have an intro, I have an outro. I have questions, I have topics that I love to talk about. I love to ask people. Every day is Friday. It has a special energy, whether there's freedom, excitement, or just feeling of accomplishment after a long week. But I want to hear from you. What does Friday mean to you? And then they always give me something. That's like one of my questions I always ask, and I love going deep into the conversation because I'm naturally curious. So if I could really dive into your stories and experiences and crack into that, and you get to share it on my platform, that's the best feeling.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So why did you pick podcasting? Is it because you knew you were already a curious person? Like you like conversations and you felt like it would be a good fit for you?
I always wanted to do it back in I think it was 2018. I was like one button click away from buying a whole bunch of podcasting equipment on Amazon,
Mm,
and I was like, "Yeah, Dad, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it." My dad's like, "Hold off, like just hold off on it. Like you're going through college, you're trying to figure out what your life's about and stuff like that." He goes, "That's a big purchase right there." He goes, "Make sure you really want to do this."
mm.
So it was one of those things that I was like, okay, you're right. And I was like right about to click it. And I was like, no, I'm going to hold off and I'm going to sleep on it and think about it. And I'm actually thankful for that because I've learned a lot through life since then.
Yeah.
I mean, I started this podcast, Every Day's Friday Podcast 365. If anyone wants to go follow and subscribe, I started this 9 months ago now, and it's just really transformed my whole life. I mean, I've learned so much. I have interviewed people from around the world on just different topics from dating to coaching to entrepreneurs to fitness and life coaches. I mean, it's very cool to have a network and like I can really contact any of my guests right now via phone and get in contact with them. They'll answer me. It's like really cool because like I have real conversations like this. Like I mean we're friends now, because of this, and it's like the connections you get because of this is that's something magical about podcasting in itself. And I really recommend anyone if they want to have a personal development journey, start a podcast.
Oh
Just my
yeah.
articulation alone, my speaking abilities have grown a lot since I started. I mean, go watch my first podcast from where I am then and now. It's really truly incredible.
Yeah, yeah, no, it is. It's a skill like anything else. When you first start, I mean, even my first one was not the greatest, and not that I'm like crushing it now, but I'm definitely better than I was. Even the setup is better. I have a microphone now. In the beginning, I didn't have a microphone; it's just on my phone. So it's like, like kind of going back to what you said earlier, like just press record, just start, and you will figure it out along the way. Um, the biggest thing too though with this is consistency. Like I think the statistic. I think it's what 20 episodes. If you do 20 episodes, you're like in the top 1%, or maybe it's something like that. But
You
two,
want me to share it?
yeah, yeah, please do because I mean I want people to understand like if you're gonna do it, you got to do it.
First off, I want to say most people wait for Friday to feel alive. I make every day feel like Friday. So it's one of those things. And the statistics on podcasting, so if you want to, so 90%, if you want to be in the 90 percentile of podcasts out there, that you got to go past episode 3, okay? And the 10% after that, you have to go past episode 20, okay? That is the bar is very low for
So
podcasting.
low.
A lot of people do not have the type of, they go, "Oh, I'm gonna start a podcast." They don't have the drive, they don't have the consistency. I drop 3 podcasts every single week, and Every Day is Friday podcast
Let's
365.
go.
Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. I stay consistent with it, and you got to get good at everything. I mean, in the beginning, like you got a microphone, and like this is a new microphone for me. We talked about this last time, and I was like,
Hmm.
I got a new microphone, and the technology gets better over time. The background gets better over time.
Yeah, I love your backgrounds.
Everything. It's just like it's a journey. That's what it's all about. It's about the journey, and it really is beautiful. And something I'm shooting for, and I think you're shooting for as well, is episode 100. Because if you want to be the top 1% of podcasts out there, you have to get past episode 100.
Oh, really? Okay,
And
so it's 100 episodes is top 1%.
yeah, it's like there's only 1% of podcasts that have over 100 episodes.
Wow.
So just if you want to be the top 1%, you have to do what the 99% is not willing to do.
Yeah, it is. It's literally just being consistent. That's it. So many people. I mean, it's the same thing I experience with coaching people, fitness, and all the things. Like people just don't. They can't stick with anything. They just can't stick with it. It's same thing with content creation, being a YouTuber, bringing an influencer, all that stuff. Like the consistency to do the hard thing. Which honestly, I mean, with the Riverside app, it's made this like pretty dang easy. Like it really like once you have your setup, like all you have to do is just like press the button and just talk to the camera. Like, and you have an episode, then you just post it. Like, it's not hard. But even with that, people still like, they just won't do it. They won't stick with it.
Yeah, and it's just not a podcast. It's a movement. It really is a movement, because the more you have a platform that you share on, the more you realize that, hey, I have some fans. I have people that watch me and support me. I've had guests that go, some of the questions you asked me has changed my whole outlook on my whole life. And I was like, really? I was just asking you like simple questions like, what's next for you on your journey? And she really was like, one of my guests, she goes, she texted me after, she's like, it really hit deep for me, because like I didn't know what was next for me on my journey. And I was like, it's like just simple questions like that can really change someone's lives.
Nagging injuries, poor sleep, and wrinkled skin. All three things that I think all of us agree really sucks. But you know what the three things have in common? They benefit from red light therapy. So something that I've been doing recently in my own life has been working with this company, Loombox. They sent me this product. If you're just listening, it's just a square, or so like a rectangular white box with a bunch of dots on it where the red light comes out of. It has been a huge game changer for me. So especially for me as an athlete, I deal with a lot of nagging injuries. I will put this thing on my elbow, my knee, my back, my neck. I'll put it anywhere that I'm feeling pain, and I'm not kidding you. The reduction in pain I get almost immediately is amazing. But I've healed from tendonitis far quicker than I ever should have healed, especially in my knee. I've had jumpers in my knee for a while, and it is like completely gone from red lighting this. So I've been able to get back to squatting and jumping and all the things. It's been awesome. What's really cool about red light therapy, though, is it has to be a specific nanometer. So there's two types. There's red light, and then there's near infrared. Red light, you need to be around that 660 nanometer range, and for near infrared, you need to be around 850 nanometers, and this thing covers both. So if you want to hold it on your skin, like put their little glasses on, hold it on your skin, it's great for collagen production. If you want to put it on your room when you're going to bed, it kind of helps you get into like sleep mode, so it increases the amount of restful sleep you're going to get at night. Or if you just want to put it topically right onto an injury, you're going to increase the healing time. You're going to drastically reduce the time it takes to heal. I don't want to throw out some crazy number percentage, but you're going to speed up their healing recovery time. So it's really cool. Anyways, you can go to the link in the description. You can save yourself $260 if you want to check this out. If you've got anything going on, or you want to sleep better, or if you want to just look prettier, go to the link in the description. Save yourself some money. Support these guys. They're really, really great. Support your boys. Support yourself. Love you guys. Back to the show. Yeah. How do you plan the questions you're going to ask? What does that process look like for you?
I always like to do an intro for my guest, and then I go into their. I always go, it's fascinating to hear your why behind everyone's passions, and I always like to start why they start, and what was the beginning like, and then I go into the meat and potatoes about what they're doing, how they're doing it, and then I go into a little bit about like what's next for your journey, and then I go into the Friday mindset part of the show, and it goes a little bit deeper into the personal journey, and it's just very deep questions I love to ask. I love to ask like, what is something significant from your childhood that shaped you into who you are today? What is your definition of success? And if someone is dealing with if they don't have confidence, I mean, what would you tell them? And stuff like that. That's some things that would really get a little bit deeper into the conversation. That's the Friday mindset part of the show, but that's really how I baseline it. And I always tell them, like, for the subscribers for the people that want to follow you and support your work, where can people follow you and subscribe to you and follow you on your journey and stuff like that? It's all about their journey, their experiences. I'm just the one to host a podcast, and I think it was Joe Rogan that said it once. He goes, it takes me about 2 hours to crack into someone and find out what they're really about. And I was like, I try to do that for a 2-hour podcast. I've had 3-hour podcasts before. The listeners do not want to listen to 3-hour podcasts. I'll tell you that much. It's like if you stick to a 45 minute to an hour for me right now, but I've always stuck to about 45 minutes to an hour 30 on my podcast now. It's just you just learn from things like that. And like people tell me, they go, I can't sit there for an hour and a half. It's like sometimes you can, sometimes you don't, but it's all about the person that's sharing the message behind it, and that's what people listen to. And I'm supposed to have the right questions to ask them. That's all I do.
Yeah, if you have a great guest on with a good story and they're answering good questions, it can be a lot more entertaining. You did a 3 hour podcast?
Yes, that was about a carnivore diet.
Really? And did you plan on it being 3 hours, or you just it just
No, no, that's the reason I got this chair actually, because I used to stand up for my podcast all the time, and I go after that podcast, I go, I need a chair to sit in. So I really figured out how to sit down and make the whole setup and make my whole podcast setup a lot easier because without the chair, I was sitting there, I was just standing there just like, wow, this is a lot of standing for 3 straight hours, one thing, just smiling, nodding my head, thinking about another questions. It's like if you're sitting and you can come up with some good questions to ask, like that's a lot better than just standing for 3 hours
oh
straight in
geez.
one spot. My knees starting to, I could feel it in my knees and stuff like that. I was like, oh man, this is tough.
Yeah, yeah, standing for that long. I mean, I've stood for a few, but I've never gone for like a long podcast like that. But even standing for just an hour, you're like, I want to sit down now. Like I'm kind of tired.
Yeah, and I like to tell people all the
Um,
time, go chase your dreams because your dreams will not chase you. That's something I'm really passionate about for telling people out there because life is so short. You only get so many summers in a lifetime. So really
mm,
go after your dreams because your dreams won't chase you.
yeah, have your parents been pretty supportive of this?
My dad is so supportive. My mom, I don't know, she watches the podcast I have with like Lorna Grasso. That was my cousin, so she was like, "Oh, I watched that one," like that one. But like my mom, I don't know, she kind of knows what I'm doing, but my dad is my biggest fan. He is my manager. He's telling me how to do things, what looks good. He goes, "You got to post more today." Every time I talk to him, he's like, "I didn't see nothing yet. You didn't post nothing," because it's only me here on Every Day is Friday podcast
Yeah.
365. So hit that subscribe button. And I mean, I make the thumbnails. I was making a thumbnail last night. I was uploading it. I was coming up with the title. I mean, I do the scheduling. I do the interviews. I do like six people's jobs.
Yeah.
So like, and then if anyone says, "Oh, they can't do it," it's like, if I can do it, anyone can do it.
100%.
So
Yeah, you absolutely can, but you're right. You're wearing multiple hats. I'm in the same boat here where it's like I'm finding the guests, sending out my calendar link to get them booked in, and then it's, coming up with questions, doing the podcast, editing it afterwards, the title, the show notes, get it on you. Like you do all the things, and I mean, it's a lot of work. And I think that goes back into why people can't be consistent with it, just because they don't realize it's actually a lot of work. Everyone sees the production. They see the show. They see you and I talking, and they're like, "Oh, this is cool. I like this. I could do something like that." And then they go and they try to start it, and they realize, "Well, shoot, how do you connect the microphone to this? Like, how do I get the audio in there?" And like, okay, so I got to go get this cord. And then they're like, "Well, what about the camera angle and the lighting?" Well, I didn't know about all these things that you just didn't think of. And you're like, "This isn't what I signed up for. Like, this is really hard." And then they're out. Like, I don't want to do this. And I
Oh,
just
I've had countless audio issues, lighting issues. Audio is terrible. I mean, that's what you need. That's
Yeah.
what you need in a podcast. When you have bad audio, I've had one time that my microphone, it wasn't going off my microphone, it was going off my laptop. And it was just like I had to turn up my volume a ton
Yep.
just to get the to sound right. And I've had lighting issues. I mean, I've changed. I used to do in-person podcasts in the beginning, and then I found out the Riverside platform because of just the way to interview people from around the world. I mean, I couldn't be able to interview you or you interview me if it wasn't for this platform
Yeah.
because I mean, I'm not capable of just driving and flying to everywhere in the world to have a podcast. I mean, I interview people from around the world. I mean, if it wasn't for this, the internet, I could not be able to do what I do. And but I do in-person podcasts. I love them, but like in the day, you really have to have I mean, scheduling, getting people in person, getting them there. I mean, that's a tough thing. I mean, just sending them an email link and open it and just shoot. I mean, people just they do it on their phones nowadays. And
Yeah.
like I had a podcast yesterday. Um, she was a Mr. Beast contestant, top 10 finalist,
Oh, let's go.
and she just shot it on her phone, in her car, and
Yeah.
I was like, that works, that's perfect,
Yeah. I mean,
as long as you get like some good connection so it can download, that's about it.
yeah, yeah. It not downloading afterwards is the worst. I've had that happen a few times. I'm like, I guess we'll have to redo it, and it's so frustrating. Or even
Yeah,
like,
I've had that happen too many
and
times.
even you and I, like the first two times we tried to schedule mine, like my internet wasn't working, and it was just a disaster. And it's just like that stuff. It can make or break you. For some people, they'll be like, "F it, I don't want to do this. It's a hassle." And then for others, they're like, "Okay, well, let's just keep going." And that's what you did. So you were super patient with me, so we could actually get a good episode.
Well, I mean, really, what's the biggest mental block that holds people back, you think?
Um, the mental, I think it's the failure part. I think it's the more people that I interview, or excuse me, that I hop on calls with to be potential clients, the more I realize there's a fear of failure and a fear of success. 100%. Some people are terrified of trying something, going all in on it, and it not working out, and then feeling like, well, I guess I suck at this, because they already have those doubts in their head of like, well, I don't know if I'm capable. I don't know if this, and their worst fear is trying something, it not working, and it confirming these beliefs that they already have about themselves. So they're terrified of that. So they're living in this world of like, well, if I just don't try, I'll never have to actually face that. And I understand it. It's comfortable, not having to like look in the mirror and be like, well, maybe I'm not as good at this thing as I thought I was. But at the end of the day, it's like you're miserable. And so this fear of failure is really, you just, like you said, if you try something, yeah, you might not be as good at that thing as you thought, or maybe it doesn't work out, but it's going to. What's up, you guys? Super quick interruption to the podcast. If you've ever struggled with energy, if you've ever struggled with feeling flat, maybe you're getting sick more often than you want, I'm not going to say that this is a miracle drug. What I am going to say is I do think organ meats could be super, super helpful for you. This is actually something I recommend all my clients. These specifically come from a guy I know personally, and I've done podcasts with. His name is Michael Coomer. His company, MK Sups, specializes in organ meats. Now, this right here is a blend of like heart, spleen, pancreas, all of them. You can get individual products from his product line. It has been a game changer for me. I take them literally every single morning. I do not get sick, like ever. My energy feels great. My training recovery has been awesome. I've noticed a significant difference in taking them. And what's great about these is it's far more bioavailable than anything else you're going to get. So eating a good diet is awesome. It's imperative. I don't want to overstate that. But what I mean is, if you're just going to take regular supplements with like synthetic versions of this stuff, it's not very bioavailable. Whereas when you take organ meats, like things like vitamin A, B12, iron, zinc, all that stuff is really, really well absorbed into the body when you take organ meats. So if you want to go get some, go to the link in my description, use code Bernier at checkout for 15% off. Or you can go to mksubs.com and at checkout put the code in Bernier to save yourself 15%. Go support Michael Coomer, support your boy, support yourself. Love you guys. Back to the show. Lead to something else. And then that's going to lead to something else. And eventually you're going to strike gold and be like, I found my thing. But yeah, I
Yeah.
think fear of failure holds people back.
Just to circle back on that, because that is, I mean, failure just creates who I am. I mean, if for anyone, it's like I was just sort of circle back on what we were talking about in the beginning. It's like you being a knight and you keep on getting hit by these arrows and you're getting punched if you're a boxer. It's like that helps you grow the most.
Mm-hmm. That's it, dude.
I mean, these things you're putting in your backpack and you're gonna pull out and go, I've already seen this before. I've done this on this interview. I've already deal with bad lighting or something like that.
Yeah.
And something I take away from Mr. Beast, he says, he goes, make 100 episodes and then come talk to me. And through you making 100 episodes, you will learn so much just from your first to your 100th episode on what works, what doesn't work. And like for me personally, I've posted 1,000 posts on Instagram. 1,000. So sometimes that number doesn't really, 100 to 1,000. I mean, that's a lot. But like I've always said, I had to work 3 times harder than anyone else to be who I am. That's just how I've always done it. It's like if I have to do it, I have to work 3 times harder than anyone else to make it. And it's just like one of those things that I'm a hard worker. So you want to try to outwork me? Good luck.
Good luck. Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
think mindset
It's
is very powerful and very
yeah.
important as well.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I think mindset's everything. I made a post about this a long time ago as well. it was I was explaining to people why I believe you want it to be challenging. Like you want your journey to be challenging. You don't want it to be easy because anything that comes easy, easy come, easy go, right? But if you have to like really work at something and you have all these ups and downs and ups and downs and ups and downs and you're just continuously like getting back up, getting back up, getting back up, the action of getting back up, right? Whatever that means for you and whatever niche you're in, the action of getting back up is you casting another vote for the person you want to be. And the more votes you cast, the more you solidify the person you're going to be. So if you're on this journey of trying to do something and it's easy and you just get there super quick, you didn't really cast a whole lot of votes toward that person. You just sort of fell into this thing. And so like you didn't develop the grit, the tenacity, the discipline, like all these things that make a person like actually become who they want to be. And I try to encourage people with that on their fitness journey. It's like, dude, you don't want it to be easy because the more times you have to get back up and you have to be consistent and all these things, like you will not go back to the person you were before. You just won't. That's my theory, at least.
I love that because failure isn't the end, it's part of the process. And a lot of people really have to understand that failure is part of the process of life. I mean, no one's perfect. No one. I mean, not even me. So don't even think twice about it. And a lot of people really have to lean into it a little bit. And like I was saying in the beginning of the podcast, if you become 1% better every single day than you were yesterday, you'll be 365% better in a year's time. So, I mean, that's something to take away from this conversation.
Yeah, it's a compound interest. Well, let's give people some practical steps. If anyone's interested in doing a podcast, what would you like walk them through starting and getting good at it? Like, what would that process look like for them?
Press record first thing. Even if you want to do like a one person podcast, if you have to do some bullet points, and plus you got to know what your topic is. I mean, I talked about mindset in my first podcast because I was like, I need this mindset right now a little bit, and I had my buddy talk about mindset. Then the next podcast I had, it was about him fishing because he's a semi professional bass fisherman.
Yeah.
So I was like, I want to interview you on fishing and how to fish. And that podcast went really good.
Wow.
Shockingly, a lot of people love fishing out there. And then you kind of find out what your craft is and how to do it. And me personally, I'm going to tell you the truth. Go out there and DM these people that you want to interview. I literally, for everyone listening out there, I want you to understand, it was Valentine's Day this year, and I looked at my podcast and all the podcasts I've had, and I go, I have no one on dating. So I DM'd 100 people on Instagram, okay? It takes work to do all this. And I got 2 people. I got 2 people out of 100 people I DM'd.
Wow.
So I got one person from London and I got one person from Hollywood. The female was from Hollywood. The male was from London. 2 different perspectives on dating. 2 different people. I uploaded them 2 different times. Great podcast, both of them.
Wow.
Because everyone has a different outlook on things. And just if you want to interview someone, you have to reach and reach and reach and reach. I mean, even when I talked to you and interviewed you, I asked you after the end of the podcast, I go, do you know anyone that has any stories and experiences that would love to be on my podcast? And then you shared some with me. I shared some with you. And that's what it's really about, is just having a not giving up mentality.
Yeah.
On how to create a podcast. Is just you got to have something that you just never give up on, because if you give up on episode 2 because you're like, well, no one's going to listen to me talking about fishing or me talking about motivation, it's like, if I did that, I wouldn't have what I have today.
Yeah.
So you really just got to stay disciplined at the end of the day and consistent over time. And the consistency, it's amazing, because even my thumbnails, oh man, have changed so much and so much better, because I learned what a thumbnail is supposed to look like for a podcast. I thought I was making my thumbnails in the beginning like a YouTube channel. Totally different.
Really?
Some of them worked, but you gotta let the people. You gotta have these big faces of you and the guest, 1 to 3 words. some colors that catch their eye. Uh, that's what you need on a thumbnail. I mean, if anyone wants to go look at my thumbnail, every day is Friday podcast 365. Hit that subscribe button on YouTube, everyone. Trying to get that 100 or 1,000 subscribers up to get monetized, everyone.
Let's go. Yeah. Are you trying to get 1,000 subscribers on YouTube or on Spotify?
Everywhere right now.
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah.
I have my goals, but that's everywhere. It's like we all start from nowhere. We all start from the bottom. Now we're here. I mean, it's really tough to get people to subscribe and follow.
Yeah.
But it's funny because the people that follow me the most are my guests I've had on the podcast.
Really?
And then it's like I only interview people that are chasing after their dreams.
Mm.
So if you're into mindset and personal development and real raw stories, I mean, come over to Everyday's Friday Podcast 365 where we talk about really deep things and deep questions I have for people.
Yeah, a lot of people. Do you find that most of your guests are willing to go deep, or do some of them hesitate?
As long as I talk to them in the beginning, like a lot of them, I said this yesterday at the end of the podcast. She was praising me, like what a good host I was. And I just was like, I want to tell everyone out there, we just met each other.
Yeah.
We've talked for an hour and a half, but I talked to her for 3 minutes before we press record here.
Wow.
And she was praising me, and she was like, that's so right. And I was like, it just because I did my homework before the podcast and the amount of work I do into a podcast, the behind the scenes that people don't see, that's the things that really makes the show special. If you have a podcast, you really have to do your homework in interviewing your guests and understand what they're about, why they do it. Big thing. I'm going to tell everyone what everyone always says on my podcast. They always go, what is your why? They all really want everyone to really understand what their why is.
Yeah. Yeah. The why is the most important thing, I would say. That's something that I remind my clients about all the time is remember why you're doing this. Because when I have conversations with them, it's, man, I want to lead better for my children. I want to have energy as a grandparent when my kids have kids. All this sort of stuff. They say these things, and I have to remind them of that. Like, remember why you're doing this. This isn't just like you have a 6-pack in the mirror and whatever. It's like there's so much deeper than that. Like, yes, that can be a byproduct of it. If we do this correctly and you dial it in, sure, you get a 6-pack, you look great. But it's so much more than that. And reminding them of their why really, really seems to help them continue on, because it's hard to be consistent in fitness too. I mean, every single day you're going to the gym and you're like, I'm going to do something hard and it's going to be uncomfortable. That gets tiring at times. And so remembering why you're doing it is huge. And it goes for everything. Like, why are you going to work today? Why are you going to like start a conversation with your wife when you're tired and you don't want to? It's because I want to have a good relationship. Why are you going to be patient with your kids? Because I want to be a great father. Like all these things, like to remember your why. It's huge.
And in a relationship, to bounce off that, communication is key. I've figured out in my podcast from all my interviews I've done on dating and stuff like that. And for the health and fitness aspect of it, your body is a temple. You have to think about it like that. And your mind, body, and spirit. Mm-hmm. So you really have to understand that what you, I don't want to say it like it is, but you are what you eat. A lot of people don't understand that at the end of the day, because like even okay, so I realized this the other day. So if you feed chickens a whole bunch of onions, their eggs are going to taste like onions. So, I mean, if you feed chickens a whole bunch of pizzas and bad food, they're going to start tasting really bad, the eggs. So, I mean, if that's just an example, but you really got to understand that your body is your temple. You really have to take care of your mind. You got to be really taking care of your spirit, and with giving great gratitude towards life and everything you have with your spirit. That's a big thing. I mean, you can believe in whatever you want to believe in, but I'm just saying with if you live life with great gratitude and you live life with positivity and don't let people negative affect you, it's a game changer. I mean, think of life like your glass of water is like half full.
Yeah.
Type mentality. And I had a quote in the beginning of the podcast. It was like, "This is so bad, this has to be good."
Hmm. Yeah, expand on that because I love that, and I think I know where you're going with it, but expand on that.
Well, I mean, I can just share an example that, like, okay, so you have a flat tire, and let's just say you have a flat tire and you gotta fix it. You're just getting all, mad that I gotta fix this flat tire and this and that. But down the line, someone blew a red light.
Mm,
I mean, that this is so bad. This has to be good. If that tire didn't have a flat, I might have got hit. Or there's an accident up there, so I might have got hit. That's just a mindset you can have. I mean, it's not like it's true or false, but it's a mindset shift that you can have, that not have a negative thoughts. I mean, what's your take on that?
no, I love that. I think that that's exactly true. It's or this came to my head the other night. It's basically the same thing, just said differently. Of like these problems could be provisions, right? Like that takes a more spiritual approach to it. As I was spending time with the Lord, and I was thinking through some stuff, and it's like maybe these problems aren't problems at all. They're actually provisions, which is what you just said. It's so bad it has to be good. Because you don't know. You really don't know. Maybe the flat tire did prevent something bad from happening to you. You don't know. Or from someone else. I don't know. Or could it just be a flat tire? I don't know. Like it could be that, but why not have the mindset of this is so bad it has to be good, or this is a provision in some way? Because the alternative is you get mad, you feel like trash, you're angry the rest of the day. Like there's no real benefit or upside to that, right? There's only benefit and upside to the other way of thinking. So why not do that, even if it's incorrect?
Yeah, I mean, you could think about it any way you want, because I mean, even for me, if I want to circle back to the fire I had in my house, I
Yeah.
mean, this is so bad, this has to be good, because I could have been sleeping upstairs in the
Mm-hmm.
middle of the night. This fire could have happened, and there was no way to get out because we were upstairs and the garage was under it. So, and the fire was happening in the garage. If this happened in the middle of the night, who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows? Just saying, you know what I mean? Like, this is so bad, this has to be good. It happened during 5 o'clock during the day. We don't know what had caused it, but at the end of the day, like, we all made it out alive.
Yeah. Yeah. How did your parents handle that time? I mean, you mentioned it was kind of leading into COVID, right? It was 2017 was the fire, and then 2020 was COVID. But during the whole time, you never had like a solid place to live, so you're in a hotel the whole time.
Oh yeah, so we moved into my neighbor's house that I mean, thank I'm so grateful for him, because he didn't have to open up his house. We moved in there for at least 1 month. And my neighbors, because he was coming back from Florida, but he was living in Florida at the time. So April's like, he's not really coming back yet. But we moved into his house. So there's 5 people in my family, and after we only could live there for like a month and a half, if that, because my dad was like, "We got to give your house back.
Yeah.
We're gonna go into a hotel." I mean, the insurance company paid him, which my dad fought for, to have he had housing for us, so we were gonna pay you a portion of our insurance for that, and
Yeah.
then the insurance company. So we were all in one hotel room, all our whole family, and it was a very close family bond experience.
Yeah. Yeah.
My younger brother was still going through high school at the time, and my dad really wanted to keep him in the school district. He didn't want to like take him out of the school district to find new friends and stuff like that,
Mm,
and sports. And he was really big into sports and stuff like that. I was out of high school at the time, 1 year out, so it was like, okay, so I can go to college still, but he still has high school, and he has to go through that and walking through the halls, and everyone knows his house burnt down and stuff like that. You really find out who your true friends and family are at that moment of time, and then you just gotta just at the end of the day, it's just one of those things that you just keep on going. And then we went into a condo. We found a condo for insurance, but then we had to fight the insurance company again. The insurance company, the money ran out because they couldn't. Oh, insurance company is terrible. To find a builder that has enough money to build a house, for one, you got to make sure the builder has enough money, for one, to build the house. Because if they don't have the money and they're just borrowing it, because they have to build a portion and then they get paid through the insurance company. So if that builder does not have money, there's nothing being built. So a lot of builders are like that out there, and it's like one of those things we had to find out the hard way. So you really have to find a good builder. I mean, we found a really good builder that took care of us. But we went through like two builders. It went through a lot of time, a lot of things that happened, a lot of ups and downs on the building process itself. I mean, not gonna lie to you, it aged my dad, it aged my mom. It's like it really took a toll on them in their life because like losing everything like they lost, and things you just can't get back. But just having the kids, like me, my two brothers, and having us as a family and staying together is very powerful. But it's very tough. I mean, even the money in the insurance company, they it ran out eventually in the condo, so we had to figure some stuff out there. I lived in a camper for 9 months to a year. So yeah, no joke. It was like one of those moments is you just it gets cold during the winter in Michigan. I'll tell you that much.
Dang,
So I
dude.
lived in a camper by myself, and it was experience. I'll tell you that much. It gets cold. It gets really cold in January and February in Michigan. So I lived in a camper. I took showers in at Planet Fitness, and I was working out twice a day. So it was like one of those things that I went to school, worked out, and my family did their own thing for because the insurance money ran out, so we all had to find our own place for like I think it was like a year. So we all like I was like, oh, I'm gonna buy a camper, and then put it on the property, and then eventually the city, so we're allowed to have a camper on our property, but since there's no house on the property, the city was like, oh, you're not allowed to have this here. And I was like, well, how does this work? We're building, And so in my township, you're allowed to have any camper anywhere at any time of the year, but since there was no house there, we weren't allowed to.
That's
And I think my neighbor was trying to sell his house, and so that's why he called on me personally.
oh, your
I
neighbor
think the real
called
estate
on you.
agent called. Yeah, yeah. So he was trying to sell his house. So I think the real estate agent called the city. They gave me a 10-day notice to get the camper out of there. And then it was back to square one. I was basically homeless again, trying to figure out where I was going to go next. And then I moved in with my parents again, and because they were in a small compound, and then eventually built the house in a couple of months after that. But it's crazy how
Jeez,
life
dude.
goes, man. Roller coaster ride indeed. I mean, it was crazy. It was crazy. Moments like those really shape
Yeah,
you into who you are, though.
they do, man. When your back's against the wall and you got no choice but to figure it out and adapt, like you become someone different. Like, yeah, you just when you're. I learned that the hard way when I went through an experience at college. But like when your back's against the wall and you have no choice but to figure it out, like you figure it out and you learn a lot about yourself and you grow. And it's for better or for worse. I mean, really.
Yeah, and I'm a guy that doesn't really believe in luck. I believe luck is opportunity, and opportunity is there all the time.
Mm.
So if you want to look at luck like that, that's the way to look at it for me personally. Because okay, if you really think you're lucky, I mean, people call me lucky with the podcast, but I was just
Yeah,
consistency
yeah.
at the
You
end of the
showed up and done
day.
the work.
I mean, I showed up. I mean, it's one of those things that you just have to, like I was saying, you got to be prepared for the opportunity. If let's just say the stock market falls, and you buy some when it's starting to fall, that's an opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, you got to be prepared. You got to have money on the side. You got to be ready for the opportunity. Did he get lucky that he got rich at the end of the day because you made money in the stock market? No, because you made money because you were ready for the opportunity. You weren't lucky. You were ready. You did what was needed to be done at the end of the day. So, I'm going to let anyone out there just really resonate with that one because there's a lot of opportunities out there. It's like when people say oh, I wish I invested into Amazon and all this and that. There's always another Amazon,
Yeah.
but at that time you weren't ready for the opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
So if you were ready for the opportunity and you did see the potential in it and you did see everything that was going to happen with it, hey, you would have been rich at the end of the day. So there's always opportunities out there in different stocks, assets. I mean, personal brands like this.
Yeah.
There's always a lot of opportunities out there.
Yeah. No, there definitely is. Uh, quick side note. I was curious. That Maddie B43 is
Mm-hmm.
that is that is that on the
That's
wall
me.
back there, or is that in the screen?
No, it's a sticker I put on the wall. It's forever gonna be there. But Matty B43 is me. If you want to look me up on Spotify, Apple Music, I'm a country rock artist. I have two singles out, Matty B43 My City and Matty B43 Halo. If you want to look those up on YouTube, I have two amazing music videos out. You only have so many summers in a lifetime. I tell people all the time,
Yeah.
and go chase after your dreams. I wanted a music video. I wanted to have a song out there. So what did I do? I went out there and I accomplished my goals.
See,
I have a niche that I'm a cowboy, and so I wanted train tracks, I wanted an American flag, I wanted the sunset, and I got a truck in the background of my music video. I shot it with an iPhone and a camera. Anyone can do it.
that's awesome.
Anyone can do what I've done. It's I mean, I really recommend anyone out there go look up Matty B43 My City, and I wrote them myself, both songs. I'm featuring in a whole bunch of other songs as well. But like Matty B43 My City, that song, it's like a walk-up song for me.
Yeah.
I rap in that one. It's a little bit more upbeat and stuff like that. Halo is a little more country and more rock. But
I didn't know
yeah,
you
no,
were.
that's my artist name.
I didn't know you were a singer, dude.
Yes, I am. I have my guitar right over there.
That's really cool, man. Wow. Okay, so let's end with this then. What's what's something that I should have asked you that I didn't ask you? What's something you really important that you'd like to leave with the audience that we've not addressed yet?
Ooh. I, I've mentioned a lot of things on this podcast. I really hope people understand the nuggets I've gave, and I love for people to go chase after their dreams
Hmm.
and their passions and take action, because you don't know what will happen until you do it. It's one of those things in life. You only get so many summers in a lifetime, and as a lot of greats say, this is all for nothing, really. At the end of the day, when you die, no one's gonna remember you. Or, I mean, Alex Hormozy just said it the other day. He goes, "The Queen died, like, like not too long ago. When was the last time you thought about the Queen?" And it's only because I'm talking about it right now.
Yeah.
And that was it was one of the richest people in the world, and one of the biggest legacies that's ever happened in this world. And people just they forget about you over time. So take action. Go chase your dreams. Build something bigger than yourself. Build a personal brand if you can. And it's about the journey, not the destination, but the personal development throughout the journey. And I want everyone to take that away today.
No, it's awesome, man. I think that's powerful, and I think people will get a lot out of this. I think they'll get a whole lot out of this. So, yeah, if you guys listen, go check out Matthew's podcast. Every day is Friday. Go like it, go subscribe it, show him some love. This has been
Yeah, hit the link down below.
yeah. This has been a really great podcast, man. I'm glad you're here. Thank you for your time. I think people will get a lot of encouragement out of this. I think that's the biggest thing. A lot of encouragement. Like go do it. Take the step. So thank you for being here. Yeah, where can people find you though? Like what's your Instagram handle? What's the easiest way for people to find you?
For anyone to come find me, you make sure you put podcast in it in 365. So you put Every Day is Friday podcast 365 on Instagram, on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, LinkedIn. Now we're all over the place. We don't stop, but we got X. So we're on Rumble too, if you're
Cool.
interested in that. And so that's one of those are the platforms you can find me on. And I'm trying to get those subscribers up. So hit that link down below if you want to help support me and follow me in my journey, because I want to do this for many decades. And it's like I was saying, it's about the journey, not the destination, but the personal development throughout the journey. And someday I want to be one of the greats in podcasting. So that's what I'm looking forward to. And I want to thank you for letting me be on your platform for my first ever guest appearance on a podcast. This has been incredible. I've been sharing a little bit about more about my backstory. I've never shared this on my podcast. This is something new for me. So I appreciate you letting me hop on your podcast and let me open up a little bit about who I am and what I do.
For sure, man. Yeah, happy to do it. We'll do. I'm sure we will do another podcast in the future again. So it was an honor to have you on, man.
No, I appreciate it. And everyone look forward to our podcast on my platform May 3rd. I don't know when this will be out, but that's when I'm releasing that one.
May 3rd. All right, cool. I love it. Yeah. Go check it out. Go listen to me ramble about some stuff. See if you like anything I said.
It was a good one. It was a really good one.
All right, you guys. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. If you watch on YouTube, like, subscribe. It really does mean a lot. It helps us be able to push this stuff out, make better content, do the whole thing. So that would be a huge favor for us. Anyways, love you guys. Keep moving forward. Boom. Awesome, man.